Now that we know that Season 21 will happen, it is best to get hold of a team that will be useful both for Season 21 as well as Origin, and the only way to do that is probably to get yourself pure Axies, and Spyros has come up with a team that uses both a pure plant as well as a pure beast to get himself in the top 10 ranks. Now Axie zone is a little bit bugged, it's showing me the top 1 player, but Spyros is the holder of this team and he's currently in a rank 6 position with about 3,100 MMR. So let's jump into the first game and see how this team does. Now the first game that we have going on is versus a Dusk Plant and a Bird. Very standard setup, but what's interesting about this team that Spyros is running is the Beast in the mid lane. You can see Timber, you can see Rice, and you can see Goda. That's giving you quite a lot of control. The Herbivore at the front. Also, you can heal up if you're facing up against the plant, and you have the Turnip to take out the Bird if you are lucky on your card draw. And then the Aqua at the back gives you some energy and can also outplay pretty much anything with the Scarab, with the Acro, and with the Razorbyte. Very good set of cards to try and outplay your opponent in the 1v1, 1v2 scenario. So let's see how this one goes. Round 1, a simple skip from Spyros. His opponent does decide to go for quite a lot of damage. 4 cards being used, taking the plant down to 34 health. And let's see whether he decides to go for anything. He does go for 1 Herbivore just to put up a little bit of shield so that his opponent cannot kill him simply. Goes for the double Nemo, double Razorbyte, so using quite a lot of cards, and I'm not even sure that this is enough for a kill. 101 twice, and then we see Pokey as well as Rice. With the critical strike, this will definitely be enough, and you can see the energy disparity. That's 6 energy to the 2, I think, of his opponent. See the Scarab coming through as well as the Acro, and then all of the cards from the Beast. So Goda, Timber, and the little branch as well, and that plant is no more. So if you don't have energy on that double plant setup, it will be pretty much useless. Now he can still go for the Rice, he can still go for the Timber because it provides him just with enough shield to survive that combo. If his opponent went for the double Eggshell, then he would have killed him, but that is not the case, and now Spyros can just go for as many cards as he needs to from the backlane Aqua, and that will be enough to take this game down. So you can see the power of this beast. It can survive an attack even versus a bird. In the second game, Spyros is facing up versus a spiky wing backlane and a tanky mid lane in the form of a Razorbyte Scarab. We see a Herbivore giving us a crit, 82 health left on the Dusk, and we'll see whether Spyros can finish it off in this turn. I see a Scarab and an Acro being queued up, so that's quite a decent combo to try and finish this one off. I think this is actually a mistake going for the Acro and the Scarab, because you really need to have a Scarab versus, actually he doesn't have a heal. What am I talking about? He has Razorbyte, but he goes for double little branch, taking it down to 116 health, and now we see the opponent going for quite a lot of shield with the Bumpy, with the double Scarab. Let's see whether he can crit to take this plant down. That is not enough. 107 health left on that plant. Herbivore Curtail with the crit from Herbivore as well. We see a Turnip coming through. A decent amount of crits in this video, more than I would like to see. We have a Piranha coming through together with the Spiky, and now the attack comes forward from the Dusk in the mid lane. 3 offensive cards and an Nemo just to have that little bit of extra energy, but you can see the Rice stealing that right back, and if he had any more energy on him, then there was a Goda on top of that too. Spiky Wing used again, Piranha Oranda, a little bit of a waste of cards on those beasts, but what can you really do? We still have the double Nemo on the back lane, and in a 1v1 scenario with Razorbytes, you're never going to lose that matchup. You just simply will not lose that match up. He could have went for another Acro to speed himself up a little bit more. He wouldn't outspeed a double Koi, so it doesn't really matter. As long as he heals up from the Razorbytes, you can see that his opponent has 2 energy, so he can't really do anything about this matchup anymore. And a double Razorbyte and a double Acro will be enough to take his opponent down, as Spyros will take another win home with this Aqua on the back lane. That's quite unique, but not that expensive. You can definitely purchase it if you enjoy this team. Now, before we jump into the game 3, I think it's worth checking out how much this team costs. And unfortunately, it's not the cheapest one that you will find, although it has 2 pure ones. We have the Cattail on the front lane, as well as the Herbivore Turnip. And we also have the Cactus, right, for the damage. What you want to see is 61 health, so the cheapest 61 health will be $160. Not that cheap. I've seen one for $110 about 2 to 3 days ago, so if you are quite patient, you might be able to scoop one up. But if we go to the statistics right here, we go to 61 health, there's only 17 of them for sale, so it's not like there's a major oversupply of them. And if we go to the beast is also quite unique, as we do have the Timber Rise Goda for the energy control, right? People are really scared of that, so they don't really know how to play versus this. And we also have, you can either go for the little branch, or you can go for the pokey, or you can go for the dual blade. I decided to go for the dual. It costs about $150, but if you're really on a budget, then you can go for this. This one is not quite pure. It does have the eyes of a bird, which gives you the speed, but it's not gonna make the transition as smooth into Origin. So for budget reasons, you can go for this, but if you want a decent one, then probably the dual blade is the best one that you can get. And on the back lane, there's 2 choices that you have. The first one is a Nemo Scarab Razorbyte with Arco as well. So that is the first one that you have, and it costs about $116 for a virgin. But you can also go for Risky Beast. Now, it depends how many healing Axies you are facing. If it's not that much, then obviously going for the Risky Beast is a little bit better, as you have more damage. But if it's a lot of healing Axies, then you might want to go for the Scarab on the back lane for extra utility versus those. So that's how much this team costs, around $400, which is not on the cheap side, but it's definitely unique. And I think it will make a good transition into Origin because of those 2 pure Axies on the front and the mid lane. Now, jumping into game number 3, Spyros is facing off versus a unique Aqua on the mid lane. I haven't really seen that. Bumpy, Catfish, Cottontail. Definitely hard to break through with that Hermit on the back as well. First 2 rounds are very slow. We see that the opponent of Spyros is sitting on 9 energy, and Spyros decides to unleash an attack. Arco, Razorbyte, Scarab, Nemo. A couple of cards from that beast as well. We do see Rice and Timber to finish this front lane off. We also see a Herbivore, so that's a lot of cards and a lot of energy expended. And now I expect the bird to unleash an attack. We see a double hair, we see a Peacemaker as well. Let's see how much damage he can do. There's also a couple of cards queued on that beast. We'll see whether that does anything, whether that's enough, because the Aqua is already healing. With the Catfish and the Bumpy, it will be able to take that plant down, and the beast doesn't do enough to kill that Aqua. And now Peacemaker, double eggshell. That's gonna do a lot of damage, and the balloon is enough to finish that beast off. And unfortunately, we see 3 cards being absolutely wasted. We see a balloon coming through for that utility, double Bumpy as well. I mean, his opponent played it very, very well, and that Aqua will not go down because Spyros doesn't have a Nemo to clear the fear. And he's running low on pretty much every resource that he has. Peacemaker, double hair will be enough to take this team down. So you can see that this team is not invincible. It will not win versus everything, but it definitely has decent matchups out there in the top of the meta. And jumping into the 4th and final game of this episode, we see a unique team of triple antenna, not necessarily triple cute bunny, only one on the front lane. And now we see the Rise, the Goda and the little branch coming through for the damage and the energy destroy. Only 2 energy left on that antenna, and if it was me playing, I really wouldn't leave myself with any energy. Spyros doesn't decide to go for the same strategy, as he goes for leaving himself with 1 energy. I'm not sure why his opponent didn't play that antenna rather than the croc. I think it's much better to try and steal that energy whenever you have the opportunity to do so. I think that's a big mistake, actually. We see the Scarab, we see the Nemo coming through. That's enough to take the plant down. on the front lane, and now Rice and Timber will soften that Reptile on the mid lane a little bit, but the double Kotaro coming through is enough to take 2 energy back from Spyro, so we'll see whether that's enough to keep that Reptile alive. We see the antenna finally coming through, but that will not steal any energy. Double Piranha and Twin Tail enough to take the beast down. Now let's see whether this Aqua is good enough to take a 1v2 right here with the Nemo. I think it is. And the opponent going for double wall Gecko. Not sure this is the best of choices. Though 97 twice and 14 from the Nemo. Oh, that must hurt. That must hurt, that Nemo finishing you off. I think one wall Gecko and a Tri-Spike would have been better in that scenario because of the shield that you put up, but I might be mistaken. We see double Risky Beast coming through with the Twin Tail. That's not enough. That is definitely not enough, and with the energy being 3-2 and Aqua going first, there's no way that Spyros loses the game, and this is it for this team. 3-1 in this episode, sitting in the top 10 with a quite unique team that we haven't really seen in Season 20. So yeah, if you enjoyed it, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section down below what do you think about this team, and subscribe to the channel for daily play turn content, and I will see you in the next one.